All right, what's going on, guys out there? Welcome to the channel, or back to the channel. I decided to come out here and kind of look at some trucks. I'm here at TLG Peterbilt in Cincinnati. Just looking to see what they got in their used inventory. Might go in and talk to somebody. Holy crap, there's a W900 with super singles. And a really short wheelbase. Holy cow, that does not look right. But there's a truck here I'm kind of interested in. It's a 579, so it's an aero truck, but it's a Peterbilt. I like that paint job. It's kind of reminiscent of kind of like a more traditional Peterbilt paint scheme. And this one is set up for maximum fuel efficiency. I don't know the gearing on it. It's an automatic 12-speed. It's at least a 19. I climbed up on the step and looked inside, and it does not have the mounted shifter. You know, it's got the shifter on the gear selector on the steering column. So it's at least a 19 or newer, which is what I want. I don't want that older automatic if I got an automatic. Yes, I'm considering an automatic simply for fuel efficiency. But this one has, the tires on it look like they're a little bit of a, like they got life left on them, but they look like they're more of a, they're just kind of a, more of an aggressive tire, not really a great fuel efficiency tire. They don't look bad, but it kind of goes against the whole idea of everything else the truck is set up for, in my opinion. They're nice tires. They're Michelin X lines. I don't know. Let me just see what else is down this line. But yeah, that Kenworth W900, that looks really, it looks like it was probably associated with the moving line, like oh, what's that one? What is that moving lines company that uses the orange trucks? I can't think of them right now, but I just look at how short that wheelbase is, and look at those steps. Oh my gosh, I've never seen steps like that before. Just does not look right with super singles. Pretty blue 389. Anyway, we'll go and just kind of meander through here and check them out. All right, guys, let me explain a little bit, but first I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff cleaned out of my truck here. Not cleaning it out permanently yet. I'm still going to use it. Still got a couple more days, couple more trips in it yet, maybe all of next week. I don't know when I'll put my new truck into commission yet, but we'll talk about it here. I've seen a lot of opinions from my short that I put on here, so we're going to get into the cold, hard facts, as the smart people like to say. We'll go ahead and do that. Just got to take some trash out. And, yeah, just stay tuned. Got to take home this part of my air dryer just to properly wash it. Put it in the, I guess this is dishwasher safe. So we'll put that in the dishwasher and get it all clean. But, yeah. I'll miss this truck. I will. Absolutely. This is really a nice truck, guys. I've done a lot of stuff to it. I keep her clean. She doesn't leak oil anymore. I mean, it is a tight truck. I'm taking her to the shop Monday to get a PM done, to get a whole bunch of stuff done to it. Honestly, transmission flush. Well, not flush, but we're going to do a transmission service on it. And what else? Transmission service, full PM. The air dryer is kind of acting a little weird. It starts, like, as it gets close to the pressure of purging, it starts to bleed air. until it purges and then it stops bleeding air again. So I'm going to get that looked at. Yeah, well, oh yeah, I'm also going to get a full DOT inspection done on the truck while I'm there. Basically have them tell me if there's anything that they would tell somebody to not buy the truck over, you know. I want to make sure that it's a good, solid truck for the next buyer, that they know they're getting their money's worth. So, you know, if they find something that really needs tending to, then I'll have them take care of it. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a good truck. It's just not good fuel mileage. It'll make a great truck for somebody that just really is, you know, that this is like their iconic truck. And this is just all that they ever want to drive is a hood truck. They could never, ever drive anything else. This would be a good truck for them. You know, or if they're maybe doing some heavier haul or something where they need that bigger, wider front end to get that air in, something like that. But for what I do, it just isn't the right fit. Especially, I mean, yeah, I'm making really good money still. You know, I don't really know if I should really divulge the exact, I'll put it up there, the exact amount that I make. But it's pretty darn good, even with this truck after fuel. Well, I'll just say this. With the new truck, with a bigger payment, not much bigger, surprisingly, but somewhat bigger, with the newer truck, worst case scenario fuel mileage for what I'm hearing on what these trucks get in fuel savings every month alone, I can keep paying for this truck, for Levi, which is an $1,800 a month truck payment. And then my next truck payment is $2,500 a month. And of course, I will say this, I haven't signed the paperwork yet for the new truck, so things could change. But it's basically mine. So if I go to look at it to sign my paperwork and there's something I just can't stand about it and the dealer doesn't want to fix it, then it won't be mine. But it is mine, generally speaking, at the moment. So anyway, that truck payment, this truck payment, and the fuel I'll be saving, worst case scenario, I will still bring home $1,500 to $1,600 more per month just because of the fuel savings. And that's with 2 truck payments. I mean, come on, that's silly. That is silly to keep a truck because I just like the truck when I could be making that much more money. I'm not making that much more money, but I'm able to retain that much more of the money that I do make. It's not going to be going out, as Cash is King likes to say, it's not going to be going out the tailpipes, you know, and he's got a darn good point. And I'd lie if some of what he has said didn't kind of encourage me to make this change, because he's absolutely right. I bought this truck because I wanted it. I didn't buy this truck because I needed it. I mean, I needed a newer truck. And this isn't a newer truck. I needed another truck at the time. And I always wanted a hood truck. This is a Peterbilt 379. It's the iconic truck, as I had mentioned before. This is the truck that I've always wanted. And I can gladly and proudly say that I've experienced hood life. Hashtag hood life. But, you know, now that I've experienced it, and I love it, I love the truck, it just doesn't make sense to keep using this truck. I mean, I would literally, like I said, I would make more money parking this truck and continuing to make payments on it than driving it and not buying another truck. Just the cold, hard numbers right there, folks. So anyways, that's not really my explanation. Kind of is, but kind of isn't. I got to finish putting stuff into my pickup truck, and then we're going to go home. See, look at that. You won't see any more drippage under this truck. Engine stays clean. And let me open up this tank here. Get this sucker warmed up. She's a little dirty right now, but I'll get her washed. Just got a little valve right here so you can hook up an air line right to the tank. And I'll even throw in 2 of these lights for free. I got 2 brand new lights in the sleeper, just for spares. $250 per light. $500 right here. I got 1 dim, 1 bright sitting in the sleeper. So I got $500 of spare lights just in case one fails on the road, because these don't have replaceable bulbs. All right, let's just finish getting everything into the pickup. Oh yeah, I gotta close this air tank off. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I'm in a good mood this morning. Okay, let's defrost. Yeah, that little puny spot over there. Come on now, Toyota, step up your game on the defrost game. Hashtag defrost game. I'm not gonna lie, I'd really like to be able to keep this truck and just do things to it over time. But it's not good for a truck to sit either, you know. It just isn't. I mean, technically I could keep it, but it would defy the whole purpose of why I'm selling it, is to save money. So just wouldn't make sense. And like Sammy says, don't make sense, don't make dollars. All right, get this stuff into the pick-em-up truck. You like my little turquoise trash can? It adds just the right pop color. All right, just gotta go to that dumpster there yonder. Throw some of my trash out. Turn off that loud fan. Gosh, it's so rude, this Toyota. All right, let's go home. All right, now we'll talk a little bit. I was gonna leave it a surprise and just kind of show it on video one day. We'll see how well my phone stays up here. And leave it a surprise, show it on video. But obviously the cat is already out of the... Okay. The cat is already out of the bag. And yes, I'm getting a new truck. Like I said, the paperwork has not been signed yet. So, you know, I mean, yes, I am approved. It's my truck. I put a deposit down on it. But I can back out if I want to. That's really the only way it's going to happen, is if I choose to back out. Then, yeah, I know. Okay, I'll put it on, Toyota. I know you'll shut up eventually anyway, but there's going to be somebody on the video that, you didn't wear your seatbelt. Happy? So, that's the only way that I won't get the truck now, is if I back out of the sale for some reason. But as long as it checks out when I go back and look at it and they do what I asked them to do, I'm not going to back out. It's kind of funny, I was thinking about it just before I parked the truck. This is my 3rd truck to, you know, actually buy. Some that's really some of the OGs of the channel. Y'all might remember the Lone Star that I had, the black one. Technically, that was kind of my foot in the door into owner shop, or into owner, you know, somebody just texted me and distracted me, into owner op, the owner op world. There we go. That was my foot in the door. And that's all it was. It was a mistake in the first place. I never should have gone through quality to lease a truck. Way overpriced. maybe I should, I mean, it got me where I was. But even back then, I had phenomenal credit, but I doubted myself on how easy I could get a truck from a dealership. You know, but don't do that, guys. Don't do what I did. Don't doubt yourself, especially if you have good credit history. Do not doubt yourself. Don't take the easy way, or what you perceive to be the easy way to buy a truck if you want to get out here. Go to a dealership, fill out a legitimate credit application, fill it in, you know, or fill it out, give it to them, and try to get a truck through a dealer. It's just the better way to do it. So anyway, I had that truck for like 2 months, and then I went out and bought my actual first truck, the Cascadia. And it's funny because, you know, I bought that truck to see where the prices of trucks have gone. I bought that truck in 2018. It was a 2015 model, so only 3 model years old. I mean, it was probably a 14. It was probably, you know, put out in 14, but it was a 15. Well, hello. It was a 15 model year, so 3 years old. 462,000 miles on the odometer. Retail sticker price was $62,000, and I was told back then that was high. I was like, they told me back then that was an expensive, pretty high price for that truck. And then 3 years later, I had already racked about 400,000 miles on that truck. So it was up to 862,000, 870,000, somewhere around there. And I decided, hey, let's go ahead, look for another truck. And I decided to go ahead and get a hood truck. I've always wanted a hood truck. I've always been a fan of Caterpillar. So I'm like, you know what? At the time, you know, fuel was low, and I even predicted if fuel got so high, whatever, wouldn't be that big of a deal. And at the time, we were having a lot of parts shortages on the emission parts on newer trucks. And I mean, that's about the time that Kenworth started to basically allow you to delete your truck to a certain extent because they couldn't get sensors. I believe it was the def level sensors. They couldn't get the def level sensors, and it was derating the trucks. And so they gave you permission to go ahead and, you know, delete your truck until sensors came in. Well, you know, at the time, older trucks like what I have now, they weren't really having those part shortage issues. So I justified it in that regard. I'm like, all right, well, I'd rather get poor fuel economy, but know if a part goes bad, I can get a part and I'm not going to be down for months. Well, now the tables have turned. I'm not saying, generally speaking, they've turned. I'm not saying everybody, or I'm not saying nobody has to wait for parts, but it's becoming a lot more easy to acquire the parts on the newer trucks as opposed to some of the older trucks. And the older trucks, pretty much the majority of parts for the older trucks, especially Caterpillar, are all reman. There really are no brand new parts anymore. And even the reman parts are hard to come by in some cases. So the whole justified reason that I bought that truck has pretty much been blown out the window. Again, in my experience. I know everybody's going to comment and say, oh, well, I've got this down here and I've got this down here. And generally, I've been pretty lucky because the shop that I use, they never really have a problem getting parts. But the fact still remains that, you know, it is kind of becoming an issue. But like I said, with the newer trucks, it's not as bad as it was. Okay, so now it kind of takes away from the whole, well, it gets worse fuel mileage, but I'll justify it with how easy it is to get parts. It's not as easy. All right, well, fuel hit $6 a gallon over the summer. If fuel were $6 a gallon right now, man, if fuel was $6 a gallon right now, but simply by changing to the truck that I'm going to be buying, even worst case scenario on the fuel mileage on that truck, I'd be saving $6,000 to $7,000 a month. And now that I've seen that the possibility for fuel to go that high is there, I don't want to risk it again. That was painful when fuel got that high. And it's kind of left a residual ick in me for that truck now. Whenever I have to get fuel, like the trip that I do. Well, just case in point. The truck was in the shop for about a week, a couple months ago, getting some things done, kingpins, the oil leaks, all that stuff. You know, like it racked up a $7,000 tab at the shop. So I had some stuff to get done. So I rented a Penske truck. And typically with my truck, every time I come back from around, I have to get fuel. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's just not enough fuel in the tanks to even attempt a whole nother round. So I've got to get fuel again, like right away, by the time I start my next round. And when I do, I'm putting 210 gallons or so in. 200 to 210 gallons of fuel every round. I do 3 rounds a week. That Volvo that I rented, after 1 round, I didn't even need the Volvo for the second round because my truck was done. But I wanted to use the Volvo on the second round and pay for it because I was dying to know how much fuel I actually used in that Volvo compared to my truck. So I did the same thing that I would do with my truck, even though it was nowhere near empty. I filled it up just like I would with my truck after 1 full round at the same truck stop that I filled up at the beginning of the previous round. It hurt to see the difference. I put 137 gallons in the truck. That's all it took. It took 137 gallons to fill that truck after an entire round, when it takes 200 to 210 gallons, depending on, air, depending on the direction of the wind. 200 to 210 gallons in my truck is what it takes versus 137 in the Volvo. And the truck that I bought is even more fuel efficient than the Volvo. The truck that I bought has better gearing for fuel economy. It's got all aluminum wheels, polished, all aluminum wheels. Whereas the Volvo, it was a Penske Volvo, and it had all steel wheels. So it had a lot more going against it for fuel mileage. And I still did pen to paper 8 miles per gallon on that truck. I wasn't going by the gauge on the dash, none of that. I was going by pen to paper. That is not wrong. Pen to paper, unless you're just stupid and don't know how to do the math, which I'm pretty sure I do, pen to paper is not wrong. So if I'm getting 8, see, I had somebody comment telling me that I'm lying. No new truck gets over 7 miles per gallon tops. No new truck. I got 8 with that truck, and that was even set up pretty poorly for fuel economy. I got 8. And you know, so many people, oh, my voice just cracked. So many people think that they understand what every individual business does with their truck. They think they know the weights that they pull. They think they know the grades and the terrain that they go over. They think they know all of this crap. But you know what the reality is? Here's the reality. I'm really only loaded 50% of the time. All right, that is the vast minority of a trucking operation. All right, so I am one of the few lucky ones that pretty much gets to drive all the way back home for the most part empty. I might have some totes in there, but it's usually like no more than 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. I'm hearing people, I've talked to people that average 40 to 45,000 pounds with these trucks, going through the same terrain I do, and they get 9 miles per gallon. So don't tell me that no new truck gets over 7 miles per gallon when you don't know what every trucking company does with their truck. So that's just the way it is. But again, that's just how it is, guys. Anyways, I'm home right now, so I want to go inside. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it just doesn't make sense to keep running that Pete. And the new truck I'm getting is actually pretty much the same color as Levi, so it might be called Levi Jr. Maybe. Or Levi the Second. I don't know if Levi the Second's appropriate, though, since I won't have Levi the First for long. Uh-oh, my wife's coming out here. She's like, come on in, help with the kids. So anyways, guys, with that said, I'm going to get off here. That's pretty much the reasoning behind why I'm buying this truck. I think I've laid it out pretty clear. If you still are confused, let me know down in the comments. Tell me why I'm wrong. That way I can tell you why you're wrong. All right? You guys all have a good one out there. Be safe. Keep making money. Keep surviving to thrive. Man, my wife's ready to go. Keep surviving to thrive, and we will talk at you all in the next video. Take care, guys.